What's up, Judes? So there was another update to the Logan Paul um, crypto zoo scam situation, and I'm gonna react to CoffeeZilla's video about it because he's the one who blew down the doors to everything. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Logan Paul is refunding people he scammed if they promise to stop suing him for the vastly larger amount he may owe them. And honestly, I'm conflicted because on the one hand, victims getting money is always great.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That our investigation led to some real-world consequences, but I can't pretend that things are fixed or fine for people.
Yeah, they're not really
with the story
fixed.
when that's just not true. So
if he's still trying not to pay people.
Story in three parts: the refund offer, the zoo tokens, the lawsuit, starting with the most important part. And if you get one thing from this story, this should be it. These are the estimated damages in CryptoZoo.
$18 million. Oh my
which comes from
god.
a combination of ZooCoin and NFT sales. And then
That is crazy.
Much smaller percentage of that pie.
2.3 mil out of the 18.
Refund. On the condition, though, that all the people who spent the last year suing him for the larger damages drop their case. So that's a refund of only 12% to drop 100% of the case that, as far as I can tell, Logan may be losing. Put in that light, then, this refund starts to look less like a good faith attempt to make things right and more like a cynical bargaining chip to avoid getting in even more trouble. And a careful look at these refunds conditions show that Logan is even less serious of a person you may give him credit for. Logan is offering only a one.
I want to talk about Logan Paul a little bit. I used to really enjoy his videos when I was younger. I like the whole vlog era of YouTube. And then, the whole forest situation happened, and then I reflected and was like, yeah, maybe this guy's not so great. Just all the things he did, and even in his old videos, I mean, it's not as severe as what happened then, but I had to reflect, and I think he should just stick to WWE.
Window for this refund, given a year after waiting, and hidden in this wall of text is the most shocking part, which is that
as far as the game itself, unfortunately, it will not be released. I personally spent $400,000 to have it developed, and after its completion in early 2023 and some further diligence, unfortunately, there are too many regulatory hurdles.
Not releasing the CryptoZoo game at all, which I know we all kind of knew that, but is actually insane. Because that's the thing, to be clear, he's sold millions of dollars of NFTs for and tens of millions of dollars of in-game CryptoZoo tokens for. I knew he wasn't going to make it, right? We all get that. But I watched for 3 years as Logan's fans, and that's what these investors were. They were fans of Logan Paul. They spent 3 years begging this guy to make this game. And the entire time, he told them he was...
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same because it's Logan Paul, but that's like... if Persona just the opening movie just got announced, released, and I reacted to that, it's like them saying, you know what, Persona 3 is never coming out. Sorry for all the pre-orders. Yep, it's just never releasing. It's kind of like that. It's not the same, but you know what I mean.
And I thought, even at my most pessimistic, that Logan would at least crap out some abomination that he described as a game that limped past our lowest collective expectations. But I was wrong.
Yeah, no game at all.
I wasn't wrong the first time he said I was wrong, when he said he was going to still finish the game. I was wrong that he was going to do it at all.
But even after 12 months of work, you've still managed to overlook one.
Damn, this was a year ago?
Information. See, even though I've said it's coming,
what a way to start off the year.
You've assumed that CryptoZoo isn't being made. Who are you to decide when the development timeline ends? Trust me.
Well, that aged pretty poorly, didn't it, Logan?
CryptoZoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it.
Oops. So much for making damn sure of it, because there's no game. This is what makes this such a massive con. This guy sold millions in NFTs, tens of millions of Zoo tokens, and he's not even going to release the thing he promised this whole time.
And is why it's only a small fraction
These investors
of that,
spent 3 years waiting for a game. Not only that, 2 years waiting for a large amount of money. And then a year suing him. And after all of that, all he offers is a 12% refund, no game, 30 days to accept. So look, Logan's already taking heat for making good on a promise that he made a year late, but that's not even true. he's not making good on this promise because it's not the same promise. Last year, what he promised was no strings attached buyback and you get a game. This year, it's please drop your lawsuit and you don't get a game, which is incredible to me that there are influencers out there like KSI parading this around like a win for Logan Paul, like he's some sort of hero for offering a year late.
I don't know if KSI has to say that because their business partner is with Prime, or if he actually believes that. He might.
Half-baked settlement offer. KSI says, what will the haters say now? I don't know. How about where's the game? Where's the art? Where's the millions invested? Where's the motivation for this tweet? Oh, wait. KSI is a co-founder with Logan and Prime. So
that's
of course,
what I thought.
That makes KSI Logan's new biggest fan. But seeing as how Logan treats his biggest fans, don't say I didn't warn you. So that's part one, the refund. Now part two is Zoo tokens. Remember, there were two parts to CryptoZoo, the Zoo tokens and Egg NFTs. Now, the tokens were the vast amount of damages that were actually caused, while the NFT sales were much lower. Logan conveniently wants to refund this much smaller part of his game, the NFTs, while pretending that these Zoo tokens were never a real part. They were just gambling. Now, this
but
was
that's
sort
a big
of
part
less
of it.
bad when the game was still going to come out because, you know, it made some sense. Maybe you'd still have these tokens, but now it makes no sense at all. From Logan's statement, this buyback is a way for me to make whole those who intended to play CryptoZoo. The buyback is not intended to compensate those who gambled on the crypto market and lost.
But it's not really the crypto market if those tokens were only for your game, right? And now it's never coming out. Like, they gambled in that sense for this game, I think.
So he's describing people who bought his in-game currency as gamblers.
I'm like not on camera. Let me bring this back a little bit.
The whole point of these
tokens
back was to buy the Egg NFTs and play the game. That's literally how it worked according to him. So instead, he calls people gamblers, despite also saying, quote, Zoo token was created to support the CryptoZoo game and its players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not intended to be an investment vehicle. So how can he say that, then turn around and say people who bought this were gambling? If it's not an investment, how can you refund people who...
Well, because Logan thinks his audience is dumb, right? He's like, well, yeah, it wasn't gambling, but now it is. And now all these people who still watch Logan are still like, oh, okay. I hope a lot of people see past it, but...
If you don't refund people who bought the token that was, quote, created to support the CryptoZoo game, you can't. It makes no sense. And this is why I say this isn't even close to a full refund. And
yeah, that's not close at all.
What we actually have is millions of dollars of in-game currency Logan sold that he won't pay back. Which brings us to the final part of this story. The third part. With this
evidence in mind today, oh, well, let me go back to that. Let me go back.
Which brings us...
With this evidence in mind today, I filed a lawsuit in federal court in Texas to hold these bad actors accountable. The 25-page lawsuit is public and can be found.
To the final part of this story.
Okay.
The third part, the lawsuit. After telling all his fans that they were gamblers who lost, Logan has one final surprise. He says, quote, I have filed a lawsuit in federal court in Texas to hold these bad actors accountable, people who ruin CryptoZoo. But what Logan doesn't tell you is that Texas lawsuit is something he's being sued.
CryptoZoo Incorporated, a Delaware corporation.
In already. He's a defendant in the lawsuit that he links in his tweet. He's just cross-suing his co-defendants. Like, he's already being sued, and he's just re-suing the same guys who are already being sued. And who are these...
Wait, what? That's not even like a counter-suit.
He's just re-suing. He's just cross-suing his co-defendants. Like, he's already being sued, and he's just re-suing the same guys who are already being sued. And who are these secret bad actors Logan's going to hold accountable anyway? Turns out it's his employees he hired.
Yeah, the criminals and the just straight up liars.
Eddie Ibanez and Crypto King, which all of us already knew because I investigated the story a year ago.
Which was a great investigation.
When Logan Paul tries to rewrite my investigation to pretend he did all the work himself and uncovered the real scam of CryptoZoo, while simultaneously trying to erase his part in it. He says, and I find this very...
This lawsuit is the result of an exhausting investigation that included the review of the entirety of the conversation and tracking nefarious trading activity related to the project, nefarious trading activity taking beholder backs without our knowledge and with the intention of defrauding
Very
us
funny
all.
because I spent a year on that story. Quote, this lawsuit is the
I was
result
just gonna
of
read
an
it all.
exhaustive
My bad, guys.
investigation that included the review
Exhaustive.
of the entirety of conversations. You'd be forgiven to think
Well, I guess
he was
not.
quoting my investigation. He's not. He copied it and tried to rewrite it to make himself look good. In this lawsuit, he
Sounds
says
like
things like,
Logan.
hey guys, turns out Eddie Ibanez's entire backstory was a fabrication, including
It
the
turned
MIT
out.
password. Can you believe it? It's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah,
And then
we've
he
known
goes,
for a year
yeah,
now.
You won't believe what I discovered. Crypto King secretly sold tokens. Yeah,
Yep.
we know. Logan just shamelessly
He's just trying to
rips
make
off my
himself
work
look
claim
smart.
for claim without citing me. I mean,
Which is kind of crazy because a year ago when CoffeeZilla did all of this, Logan shit on him for trying to expose him for this, and now he's coming back around and being like, "Hey, look what I found." That's kind of a shitty thing to do.
things like Mr.
But, I mean, it's Logan
Greenbaum
Paul.
later admit that he made millions of dollars through his surreptitious sales of Zoo tokens. But where did Logan find that admission? Was it perhaps when he investigated my video? Time and time again, this lawsuit copies my work, but is embarrassed to cite it. So they even have to say things like, based on public reports. What public report? Mr. Ibanez made approximately $1.7 million.
We only know that
selling
because
tokens.
of
I could
CoffeeZilla.
swear I've heard that before. And for my calculations, he made about $1.7 million. Now look, I don't usually mind people using my work. But
Yeah,
it's kind of
that's like the only. I mean, they could say on like because people reacted to CoffeeZilla and talked about it themselves, but he was the only one who ever
a little
mentioned
strange
anything
that
about
Logan
it.
is simultaneously trying to discredit my work, saying this lawsuit is not based on snippets of conversation taken out of context, a snipe at my investigation, while then stealth quoting it to pretend that they did any real legwork. And look, if you found that shameless, that he tries to steal my work and pass it off as his own investigation,
Did he do
this
some?
next part gets
what?
even worse. Because Logan's story this whole time has been that it's all other people's fault. You know, it's just bad actors. Everyone but him.
Yeah,
was
nothing
bad.
about
He was
him.
always well-intentioned. But his timeline contradicts him. According to his investigation, which is actually my investigation, in August and October of 2021, he learns that Jake Greenbaum and Eddie Ibanez are bad news, and he kicks them out of his team. So what does he do after that? He's gotten rid of the bad actors. Can't blame them anymore, right? Does he make CryptoZoo?
No.
No. For a full year before I made my video, Logan Paul had full control over his project. He admits it in his own lawsuit. And he did nothing. He said nothing. So how does he avoid accountability now? Well, enter the whipping boy Jeff. That's right. Manager Jeff is making one last
Manager
appearance.
Jeff.
Logan blames Jeff for screwing up September 2021 through 2022. But you know what he doesn't mention? What he'll never mention? The real reason the project didn't get back on track is not because of Eddie, not because of Crypto King, but because Logan's own team stopped paying developers who are working on rebuilding the game. So those people stopped working on Crypto King.
And are these this? I'm sure he's about to get to it in a second, but these might be the exact same developers that stole the code to the game.
And that's when I found it. The game was dead. It had been dead for months. And that's when I made a big stink out of it. Meaning, it was 100% within Logan's power to save this game. I'm not saying nobody else did bad things, but Logan ultimately had over a year to launch it, to make things right, and he didn't. For financial reasons. Not because someone backstabbed him. He just didn't want to spend the money it would take to make things right. And you know what?
True.
That is still true now. It is still 100% within Logan Paul's power as a
Yeah, he makes so
millionaire
much.
to make things right, fully right, with his fans.
Yeah, he has so much money.
And if he did, gave a full refund, we would all celebrate. Me foremost. But will he? Or will
Never,
he try to dodge
probably.
responsibility, cheap out, rip his fans off, and avoid accountability? I think it's the latter. So, those are the three main points. You're all caught up. To recap, part one, refunds. They're being used as a bargaining chip to drop a lawsuit, and so he never has to produce this game, which has been promised for 3 years, and he's sold tens of millions of dollars for.
2.7 out of the 18 mil, I think it was.
They're not for a game that they definitely were for to avoid refunding people, when in fact he admits they were created to support the game.
Yep.
Part 3 is the lawsuit, where he stole my investigation, tried to pass it off as his own, but just cuts out the part where he did everything wrong and leaves out the entire year where he was solely in charge of the project. No bad actors. He could have fixed everything, but he didn't because he's cheap and doesn't want to pay anybody. Anyway, I hope that catches you up with what's been going on, and I hope we as a community can have the nuance and complexity to hold in our minds two things at the same time as true. One, it's always good if victims get any money back, and we should celebrate that.
That's true. It is a good thing that some victims are getting some money back, but they do deserve all their money.
For doing this or making things right. He's a serial scammer who's offering a minority refund as a last-ditch effort to save his wallet and his reputation.
Great video by CoffeeZilla. Make sure to go check it out. I'm sure you've already seen it. It has 3 million views, but damn, that was so well. Yeah, I mean, I feel like him trying to do this is like not helping his reputation at all. It's like keeping it in probably like the same state it's at right now. Like, he's paying people, that's a good thing. But at the same time, yeah, he had the year to finish CryptoZoo. He didn't mention himself at all in the lawsuit of what he did wrong. He tried to steal CoffeeZilla's whole investigation. I mean, it's still pretty fucked up. I mean, it is a dub that some of the people are getting their money back. I don't know if everyone's getting their money back, but it is nice seeing that. But yeah, and more Logan Paul. Horrible stuff. I know it says I've watched it, but I also want to react to this. I have no idea what it's about. I just saw Mr. Beast, Valkyrie, Anthony Padilla, and Corpse on there. So we're gonna look at that next. Not today, but I hope you all have a great rest of your night or day. So see ya.